People ain't gonna do it for us. What's going on, Sockdem? Mm-mm-mm. Since I lost my baby, I feel so sad. I feel so bad. Everything is wrong. It's hard to carry on. Europe's nice if you guys haven't been there. I was fortunate enough to have lived there as a child for a few years. Didn't get to see as much of it as I would have liked, but there's some very, very nice locations to check out. Well, not buying it. I'm not sad. I'm getting some stuff done for work that I didn't finish during the week, so I'm kind of knocking it out over the weekend. Not really sad, just focused. Well, actually, I'm not even focused too because I'm doing like a live, but just kind of your T-shirt shows you are a man of culture. Not a surprise to you, and not a surprise to you, Alex. Thank you. All right, appreciate it. But you guys know me. Glad to hear it. Yeah, I'm in a good mood. Getting a lot of stuff done. Do you think Trump's conviction will actually affect his? Yes, I do. I do think it will. I think that it's definitely hurting him with Republicans. So more than I thought. And honestly, just Trump in general. Just the more he stays in trouble, the more he's in the public light, the less people like him. Just like, back in 2020. And when you look at the primaries, that's what's really interesting is that Nikki Haley was getting a consistent 20% when she wasn't even running. And in Virginia, she got 35%. That's not good. That's not good. So, the Republicans that really love Trump, that's not going to change their minds at all. They're already set in. But the fringes, like there's no way he's going to get more votes from it. I'll put it that way. So, and with regular people who aren't Republicans or Trump supporters, it's going to hurt him quite a bit. I watched Cooley High. Oh, that's so great, Aaliyah. Oh, I appreciate. Oh, had you not seen it before? It's a fantastic film. I really love the ending. I watched the ending when I was probably 11 years old at my grandparents' house, and I was just bored out of my mind. My dad was playing bid whist with his family. They played late at night. They were loud as hell. Their house smelled funny. I hated it. But there was just, I think it was someone's room. I was sitting in there, sitting on the edge of the bed in this tiny TV, back in like 1991 or something, and watching this movie and just bawling my eyes out. And so it was a seminal moment in my life. Glad to spread that to people. Which countries are country? Oh, you're in Europe. Yeah, I was in Germany. We lived in Germany. We moved 5 times in Germany. And I think the only countries I saw were Germany, France, and Belgium. Those are the only countries that I got to see. I hate that America House is made of wood and not concrete. Never thought about that. I've never seen it. Oh, cool. I see the influence. Yes, you see the influences. Yeah, from a movie like that. Why do you think Biden will win the 2024 election? Because Trump is such a bad candidate. It's not really because of Biden itself, but Trump isn't anywhere near as popular as people seem to think he is. And it's proven time and time again when he runs in the primary elections and with more recent polling and everything. Trump never hit 50% as president of popularity. And his aura is kind of built off that he has this massive, fan base, support base that is ride or die and will support him no matter what. But it's like 30% of the population. So I'm not saying Trump has no chance to win, but my bet would be that Joe Biden would win. Just like in 2020. I mean, he lost last time. It's not like they put the lean more about U.S. elections. Sprechen Sie Deutsch? I do not speak German. No, I don't. By the way, for those who don't know, Germany is called Deutschland in German. But yeah, I get Anthony Anderson a lot. RFK Jr. I mean, look, if you want to vote for RFK Jr., fine. I'm not going to, tell you not to. Well, what does it matter if I do anyway? But RFK Jr. is on the ballot in, I think, 7 states. So It's like 43 more to go. And let's see. First time that was mentioned. Name one thing Biden said that you like. One thing Biden said that I liked. Well, I don't know about quotes from Biden. I can't think off the top of my head. Like the number one thing I'd point to Biden that I liked was the fact that he got us out of Afghanistan. I mean, sure, the rollout didn't go as well as everyone wanted it to go. But it is funny hearing Trump criticize it since it was literally Trump's plan. That's one thing Biden didn't change, that he stuck to Trump's plan to get out of Afghanistan. Also, getting out of Afghanistan has been a big deal to me for a long time because it's like, why are we there? Well, what's the point of us being in Afghanistan? We went there in 2003, and by 2020, the Taliban had more control over Afghanistan than it did when we got there. So when it was time to remove everybody, and finally, I expected not Trump to get us out of Afghanistan. I didn't think he would, but Jim Mattis, as Secretary of Defense, because everyone loved him in the military, and he didn't get us. Like, come on, man, what are we doing here? And then Trump used it as kind of a carrot to say, well, I'll get us out of Afghanistan, but it'll be after the election, kind of like, like a sweetener, elect me, I'll get us out, which is kind of bullshit. But and Biden went through the ringer for that. Biden has actually never recovered in popularity from getting out of Afghanistan. That was the problem with Afghanistan, is that everyone knew there was nothing going on here. We were just losing money and lives for no reason at all. Like there was no detailed plan of how to win the war in Afghanistan. But no president wanted to be the president that bit the bullet and said, okay, I'm going to suffer this embarrassment and pull us out. Because there's no way it was going to go clean. No possible. You never end an occupation cleanly like that. And no one wanted that embarrassment. And Biden said, I'll do it. So I'm glad he did it that way. I'm glad not he did it the way he did, but I'm glad it happened. Let's see. I'm not sure. Is it not 7 states? Last I checked, it was 7 states. What is it, 9 now? Let's see. As someone who voted for Nader in 2000, I mean, look, I'm not going to tell anyone who to vote for. It's not my place. The vote is yours. It's the one thing in politics that's 100% yours. No one can change it. Like, you can argue the efficacy one way or the other, but your vote's your vote. Biden on domestic violence. It's never the women's fault. Women's fault. I haven't heard that. Okay. USA went to Afghanistan. Rob. Let's see. You're wrong. I am from Afghanistan. Well, wrong about what? Like, tell me what I'm wrong about. I'd love to know what I was wrong about with that, or less about RFK. What are we talking about? Random stuff, really. We were just talking about, someone asked something that Biden did that I liked, and I talked about the fact that we're no longer involved in the war in Afghanistan or in Afghanistan at all. That took balls, and it was the right thing to do. And I think we were talking about movies, Cooley High before, and Ninja Turtles. We brought that up. RFK says it was 13 states. Oh, look at that. He's improved. $37 to go. Yeah, I'll take RFK. Actually, look, I'll consider taking RFK seriously if he's on the ballot in all 50 states, and he won't be. And even if he's on it, he's not gonna. The problem with the third party candidate is that a third party candidate needs to get a majority of the votes to win. Like, you need to get more than half the votes, and which means you need to get more than the other two major parties combined. That's just not going to happen. It's just not in our current system. Like, the only way a third party would be viable is through just a massive cultural change in which the third party had a lot of power at much lower levels before it reached the presidency. Then it could, and which at point it would just supplant one of the major parties, become the the second party itself, kind of like Republicans. Like back, the Republicans were basically the evolution of the Whig Party. And when the Whig Party collapsed, the Republicans kind of coalesced from like the Free Soil Party, the Whig Party, and a few others, and they kind of came together and formed the Republican Party as an abolitionist, anti-slavery movement. And honestly, they became, like, people say Lincoln was a third party candidate. He wasn't. The Republicans were a second party by that point. They already were. He was the first Republican president, but they had been one of the two main parties for like 10 years by that point. Let's see. Oh, infrastructure bill. That's good. Gavin Newsom. I've never personally liked Gavin Newsom. I don't know. It's just something about him seems sleazy, and he looks sleazy. Like he's got the politician hair and everything. But I think, God, I hope he doesn't run for president. I hope he doesn't. I just don't like the guy. I don't trust him. But why not at this point, right? Why not? Okay. Yeah, I get Anthony Anderson quite a bit. So, we need ranked choice voting, but the major part, yeah, that's the issue with ranked choice voting. That we all know ranked choice voting is a good idea, but if you're a Democrat or Republican in power right now, what is your incentive to make ranked choice voting a reality? Like what? It just jeopardizes your position. So yeah, it's a good idea, but it's Alaska has ranked choice voting, which I didn't know until like last election, I think, because they had a runoff because of the ranked choice voting. It was a Democrat against Sarah Palin, and so Alaska had a Democrat representative for the first time in like 40 years or something like that. It's a 33, 33, 34 split. 34 split. Third party is the only option because of the. Well, it can't. No, that wouldn't. You need 51, or you need 50% plus one to win. You can't win with 34% for the presidency. I mean, it would go to the House at that point, so I guess it's still viable. But at the moment, there's not a 33% population that's voting third party. It's just not popular enough. It's not like a ideological thing. It's just that it doesn't have the popular support. And I respect anyone trying to get it. I'm not shitting on it at all. I was just like, at the moment, it's not viable. A third party candidate could win if we went to a different type. Yep, voting system. Yep, ranked choice. Correct. Roast Nikki Haley. I've done it before. I'm not in the mood now. At least we can agree on Gavin Newsom. Who would you like to see run for the Democrats? I don't really have. I mean, I don't know. I have ideas who could win, but like someone that I'm really jonesing for. I don't got anyone on the list right now. Nice green shirt. Jill Stein. Nice. Yep. Green pride. Oh shit. What am I doing here? How many is Jill Stein even running for president? Is she even running? I haven't really seen anything with her. And if she is, damn, how often does she run for president? She's like William Jennings Bryan. I think William Jennings Bryan ran president like 4 or 5 times. The picture of Newton and his then wife on a fur rug are nausea. Who are you talking about? You should do a lore video. Anthony Anderson, Wolfie in the shirts. Anthony Anderson is the only person I get. I get a lot of different. Anthony Anderson is the one I get the most. And I do look like him. I'm not saying I don't. I'll get Anthony Anderson. When I was little, I used to get Eddie Winslow all the time. I get Francis Ngannou, some like fighter. There's a football player I get. 2 football players that I get a lot. And someone else. I'm blanking. But yeah, I get a few people. But I look the most like Anthony Anderson, I think. Somebody did a whole video like asking me if I was Anthony Anderson's son. It was actually pretty funny. I haven't done a Wolfie video in a while. At least I don't think I have. At least I feel like I did a lot more. I tried doing one the other day, but he wasn't cooperating. He's so cute. Jill Stein is running again. Wow, man. It's like it's her job. And running for president seems like a lot of work. I don't know why she keeps doing that. Seems like a lot of work. I don't believe that Trump's conviction will affect his outcome because his supporters won't buy. No, well, it's not about his supporters. It's not about Trump supporters at all. It's about fringe Republicans who don't like the fact that Trump is a criminal. He is, and they didn't like him much in the first place. And this surprised me. There's a lot of actually principled Republicans who just won't vote for Trump, or they're because when you see those primary returns at 25, 35% voting against Trump for no reason, just in protest. Now, all of them are going to vote against Trump. Most of them will. But if you get like even 25, 15% of them that won't, that's going to have a big effect. But the trials and convictions are going to be for regular folk who don't pay attention to politics at all. People who are somehow undecided on this, that doesn't help him. No matter how much the Republicans tell you that, regular folk, or they'll tell you how black people have been talking about how the system's been rigged against them for years, and now they're identifying with Trump, which is so absurd. Republicans don't believe the system is rigged against black people. They don't. They say it all the time. So why would they just like, oh, okay? It's so dumb. It's just grasping at straws. Well, he's got a felony now. That means certain people are going to like him. It's so incredibly tone deaf. But it doesn't help him. There's no way it does. Yeah, she is for the Green Party. Yeah, Pete Buttigieg is a good choice too. I don't like him either. I've never liked Buttigieg. He just seems phony to me. There's something about him that seems really phony. I don't like he was grown in a lab or something. Cornel West is running. God, Jesus Christ. I remember Cornel. He took money from Harlan Crow. The guy that we're roasting Clarence Thomas for taking, jet rides from and buying stuff for his son, buying a mansion for Clarence Thomas's mom. Cornel West that was so disappointing to hear that when Cornel West took money from Harlan Crow. And Cornel West calls everyone brother. And he's like, well, we have to listen to brother Harlan Crow. I was like, that fall from grace. Yikes, that was terrible. I think it's funny how no one knows the actor that played Eddie Winslow's name. You know what? I was this time, it was last March, I went to a courthouse to meet with, it was the judge and like the county trustee or something for the eviction program we were working on. And one of the guards said, hey man, you look just like, and he said some name. And I was like, oh, all right, cool. And I looked it up. It was Eddie Winslow's actor name. That guy knew. I didn't know who he was talking about, but I've forgotten since then. She's rich. Are you talking about Jill Stein? Like why she runs for president? But yeah, just because you're rich, like why would you? I don't know. Are you not worried that Trump? Are you not worried that Trump is ahead in the swing states? So last I checked, so I did a video like 2 weeks ago that Trump was ahead in all the swing states, and that was true at the time. That changed after the conviction. I think he was ahead. I think Biden's ahead in Arizona now, and I don't think that's really going to change. And the Republicans have been overrepresented in the polling these last 3 years, I guess. And no, it doesn't worry me because there's a poll for Pennsylvania. It has Biden down in Pennsylvania. And it showed like Philadelphia specifically, it said 30% of the black vote was going for Trump. That's not, folks, there's no way that's happening. There's no chance that it's happening. There's no chance in hell Trump gets 30% of the black vote. And what was it? There was another state. I think it was Nevada. Nevada, Minnesota, maybe. One of the states, it went for Biden by like 7 points, and it has Trump up by 10. States don't swing by 15 points over 4 years. That never happens. So yeah, I'm not all that worried. If 7% of the aliens stay home, the humans win. All right. His name, Darius something. Darius McCray. That sounds right. Darius McCrary. Thank you, guys. Vincent. James Tyson, what the hell are you talking about? With the aliens stay home and the humans? Is there an intergalactic war going on? No one told me about. I wasn't ready for that. Guess I do a shameless plug here. If you guys aren't following the YouTube channels I do, I recommend you do so. Power is Taken, Not Given on YouTube. I recommend you do that. And at Power is Taken, Not Given on YouTube. And I got the Left Wing Pod that I do with John on YouTube. Another one called the Kids From It Podcast on YouTube. Trying to do more YouTube stuff. Let's see. Dre Mage. We're just, chewing the fat, man. We were talking about Ninja Turtles, the war in Afghanistan, upcoming election. What else were we talking about? Music. Did you see that Libertarian Party considered Dave Rubin? I heard something about that, but because I think he turned it down or something. It'd be really funny to watch Dave Rubin run for president, but they must be really desperate. Dave Rubin. Yeah, Chapel Trap House. I really liked Matt Christman. He had a stroke. That was too bad. Matt Christman is a very funny video. Wonder where I heard it. What about Dave Rubin, Leah? Because I heard that somewhere. I don't remember where I heard about Dave Rubin running for the Libertarian Party. But I was like, oh, that's odd. Oh, that's probably where. That's probably where. Oh, I love it. Yeah, that makes sense. That's almost certainly where. He has some good stuff on it. Another grift. Yeah, Rubin doesn't have the chops to run for president, man. It's just like, whoo, boy, that guy. Talk about a guy who has no business doing political work. That's wild. Vincent Robson. Where is it? I posted a video. I don't know if you guys saw on my account. This at Turning Point USA, they did this commercial for this product called Freedom 2.0. It's Freedom Water. It's bottled water that just has Freedom 2.0 on it. And the lady there is talking about how, buying Freedom 2.0 is not just about drinking water. It's about, expressing your rights as an American. Non-woke water is basically what it is. It's we really got to get into the conservative grifting, folks. There's tons of money to be made. People just can't wait to throw it at you. Remember the Freedom phones from years ago? Yeah, they're like, yes, so much money, man, so much. Like when you watch right-wing content, you'll notice that you'll always be peppered with like prepper commercials, gold and silver coins, alpha focus brain pills, stuff, just complete snake oil nonsense used to fleece usually old people out of their money. And it's like, man, just like, if you have no principles at all, the right wing, you could say you left it. I know, right? Yeah, I did a video about that. Why I left the left. We could all just cash it. All right, my thoughts on Project 2025 are not going to be popular. You guys are not going to like my thoughts on Project 2025. I've never made a video about Project 2025, and I won't be making one because I looked at it and it's just the same shit Republicans have been saying my entire life. Like this has been like, consolidation of minoritarian rule and power through the court systems and establishing checks to limit the expression of the will of the people. That's been conservative orthodoxy since before I was born. So why should I be surprised that product is from the Heritage Foundation? Like, I keep hearing people talk about this thing. It's like, okay, I don't get what the big deal is. Yeah, sure, Trump is bad and everything, but this is just what conservatives want, and they haven't been shy about it. So I don't talk too much about it because it doesn't seem like anything stranger than I've seen since I first started paying attention. it's laced with trash ads. Yes, it's awful. And look, I know people need to make money. Like when people like doing this costs money and it costs time, more importantly, so they want to get paid. I get it, but the stuff that they market, man, all of it is just buy this 55-gallon drum of pancake mix. So when martial law happens, you'll have food for the next 6 months. It's like it's just taking advantage of people's fear. I mean, that's what it's all about, and it's sad to see because a lot of like older people especially are just tossing money at them for this. Thoughts on Project? Yeah, I know. It always, that's why I don't talk about it because like people are gonna think, oh, you're underestimating. No, this is not underestimating them. I'm perfectly estimating them, and that this isn't a surprise. Oh, right, yeah, Bailey. Yes, this is. I've seen so much hand wringing about Project 2025. It's like it's just conservatism. Fox News website has an obscene amount of ads now, probably to pay for that Dominion. Yeah, that Dominion lawsuit. Did you see that? The production company that distributed 2000 Mules had to issue a retraction and apology, and they can't sell the movie anymore because for the same reason. One of the, or maybe several of the poll workers that they slandered in that film took them to court, and yeah, they can't sell it anymore. It's not going to stop, but the damage has been done. For the last 4 years now, people are convinced that the election was stolen by oily enactors of a mediocre justice. And but Fox News had to pay out $1 billion roughly to Dominion, I think. And I think they still have a case with Smartmatic that hasn't gone to court yet. So yeah, they gotta Project 2025. Most people don't know about it, even though it's been public for 40 years. I didn't know it's been public for 40 years. I didn't know that, but it wouldn't surprise me because once again, that's God, I'm always right. That lawsuit, whew. Trump's USA Bible is that was great. That was great. Trump's USA Bible. You know what? I'm not mad at Trump for stuff like that. Like when he sells his Bible or his Trump cards, his useless Trump cards, or those Trump gold coins, or the Trump teddy bear, the Trump trading cards. Get your money, Chief. Get it. Because I can't think of a better group of people to rip off than, old racists. I just can't. It's like, take their money, man. What are they going to do with it? So of all the things that I dislike Trump for, that's the least problematic, and they know you're a swindler and they don't care. They want to give you the money. Go for it. I don't feel the least bit sorry for those folks. I hope he drains them for every penny. It's funny too. Cause it's right. Cause he made his daughter-in-law the head of the Republican National Committee. And just basically, all your donations to the RNC, I can't remember. It's like the first $50,000 or something goes straight to Donald Trump. And then the next $100,000 goes to Trump Save America PAC, and all of that's just going to pay his legal fees and everything. So that's another reason that I don't think Trump's going to do well because first off, Biden's raising a lot more money than Trump. And the money that Trump is raising isn't going to opening up field offices in the states. If you notice, you can look it up. States that Trump needs to win, like Pennsylvania, New Mexico, stuff like in Arizona. He's not opening up field offices. Biden's opening up tons because Trump's not spending the money on the campaign. He's spending it on his legal fees. Martial law pancake. I know, right? It's so embarrassing. I bought the pancake mix. Border crisis biscuits. Oh man, folks, we got a gold mine in front of us. We can just start creating, stuff for the apocalypse to sell to the rubes. They'd buy it up. I don't think Trump would make Project 2025 reality. It really wouldn't be Trump's. Trump doesn't care about that. He just wants to be in power, and if it would help him, secure power, he would. But he's not an ideologue like that. DEI soda. Think we'll turn Texas blue maybe in 20 years, 15 years. Every election, I've been paying attention to politics since 96. And every election, Democrats always say, oh, this is the year we turn Texas blue. No, it's not. It's not. It's a long way off. It will be eventually. It's trending blue. But Not this year, not in 2 years, not in 4 years. Maybe 10 years. It's a long way off, but eventually, yeah. Who is this? Don't forget to buy the Trump versus Biden commemorative coins. Yeah. Are you worried about what Trump supporters are going to do if he loses again? I mean, I don't know. Like January 6th won't happen again. That's for damn sure. I mean, if Trump loses, he won't be president, so he's not going to be able to, grease the wheels of the insurrection like he could last time. So no, not particularly. I mean, who knows? They could do anything, but at least another January 6th would happen. It's something else maybe, but not another January 6th. I do like with the January 6th thing that Trump tries to blame it on Nancy Pelosi. That's always very funny to me. And he says stuff like, well, I told Nancy Pelosi that she needs to order 10,000 National Guardsmen at the Capitol, which is funny for two reasons to me. The first being that if you're familiar with the United States military chain of command, you'll know that the Speaker of the House is nowhere on that chain of command. That it's the president. Like Nancy Pelosi can't order anyone in the National Guard to do anything. So if Trump wanted them there, they'd be there. Second, it's a lie that had to come from Donald Trump because of how just absurd the number is. Like 10,000 troops at the Capitol. Where would they stay? Where would you put 10,000 people at not in DC, at the Capitol? It's like, that's just something Trump would say. Just an absurdly large number that makes no sense at all. You're going to have them like dangling from the dome or dangling from the ceiling and everything. It's just, I don't know. It's such a Trump thing to say, and it makes it so absurd. But yeah. So without Trump having control of the executive branch of government, I don't see a successful January 6th. I mean, they could try it, sure, but I'll be ready this time. Trump knows his base is a cult. He does. Do you think Trump supporters would start a civil war if he? No. How would that even work? A civil war in modern United States can't really happen because it's not like the 1850s and the 1860s where you had more or less the entire South, thinking one way and more or less the entire North thinking another. It doesn't work like that now. Now the divide is mainly urban versus rural. And even then, it's not like 90% of people in urban areas think one way and 90%. It's like, no, even then it's like 60-40. And so, yeah, it wouldn't, structuring the Civil War and like what the goals would be, it'd be too complex to actually get off the ground. So no. And people have too much to lose. The reason the reason that we put up with so much BS in the country today, where half the population makes under $37,000 a year. There's microplastic in all our food. The government is allowing corporations to feed our children microplastic. Like we're letting corporations turn our children into styrofoam, and we're still sitting around talking on TikTok and everything. So yeah, there's enough to subdue the population of the awful stuff that's going on that Donald Trump losing is not going to galvanize them. There's way worse things they have to worry about. The Bible is missing some of the amendments in the Constitution part. My mom said a Trump supporter at her job cleared her 401k. Oh, come on. I hope that's not. Actually, I do hope that's true. I really do hope that's true. Are you worried about Democrat voters staying home to protest the war in Gaza? Not particularly. I know people will, and I'm not going to shit talk them, and their vote's their vote. I don't think that it's going to be a big enough number of people. Honestly, I just don't. I wish the war in Gaza was a bigger deal, but it's not. When you talk to Americans about like their top 10 issues, Gaza doesn't cut the top 10. I mean, you'd think it would. Like, what are you worried about? But it's gonna play hard. It's not gonna help Biden. It is gonna hurt him. It absolutely is. And and that's not the right way to look at it too. Is that the moral thing to do would be to stop what's going on in Gaza, but it will hurt him. But I don't think it'll be enough to tank him nationwide. I don't believe. You don't know how refreshing it is to see someone not chronically online as an activist. I mean, I am chronically online. I do this all the time. What do you? I do this all the time. Yeah, man. I'm in front of a computer screen or a phone screen probably 10 hours a day, 10 hours a week. All of Trump's weaknesses in 2020 are there and even worse now. He's not. He's not a magician. Yeah. Yeah, I think Trump. Yeah, I just can't see a way Trump wins. I don't know. Trump winning in 2016 was a fluke. It took me a few years to figure this out, to come to grips with this, but because when he won in 2016, I thought he was actually more popular than he was, and seeing what's happened since 2016, that the Republicans lost in 2018, they lost in 2020, they had the worst performance of any out of power political party in 100 years in 2022. They're losing special elections left and right. You know, like young people voted blue even more than they did before, and millennials like myself, people between what, like, I don't know, how old are millennials now, like 28 and 42 or something, we're not turning red anymore. Like, the Republicans are a dying party. And so Trump just had a perfect storm of events where he was running against Hillary Clinton, who didn't galvanize the base, and no one thought he could win. That's the important part. People underestimated him. So a lot of people stayed home because they didn't like Clinton. And Trump eked by an electoral victory. And then he ran as the incumbent, got more votes than he did the last time. That's the strongest Trump was ever going to be, and he still lost. So I just think enough people take Trump seriously now that people will get out of bed specifically to vote against Trump. Like, people who aren't Democrats, like a lot of normal people are going to get out of bed to vote against Trump. You're not going to find that with Biden. You're not going to find a lot of people who aren't ideologically cloistered on the right or the left or the center or whatever, who are like, oh man, I got to get out and stop Joe Biden. I'm going to vote for Trump. That's a very, very small portion of people who aren't already Republicans. And the elections aren't won by Democrats or Republicans. Like, they're going to be pretty much the same every time. But the people who win elections for you are your undecided candidates, your undecided voters. And undecided does not mean centrist. Like, undecided could be anybody. And then you have the abortion thing. People are going to come out. The Democrats are going to put abortion on the ballot, and people are going to come out to support abortion measures. Abortion measures always win, even in red states. And those folks are going to vote for those measures, and they're probably going to vote blue down ticket. Because the Republicans have set themselves up as the party that's not only against abortion, they're against contraception, they're against in vitro fertilization, just against the rights of women altogether. So even if those folks don't like Joe Biden, they're going to be voting for Democrats, and people are lazy. They're not going to be, reading, ooh, what's this Democrat think? And they're going to vote Democrat all the way down. That's just how it's going to go. So I think all that together gives Biden a pretty major advantage. First time drinking water. California used to be deep red. California used to be red. That's why Reagan was president of governor of California back in the 60s or something. Kind of wild to think about. You lost your big. I just like the song, honestly. I like to title my lives after songs. It's just a thing I've always. Oops! I sent someone an invitation. I did not mean to. Ignore it. Trump's sexual thing about Pelosi. Oh, those were weird. Yeah. What is political ideology of the Turtles? Ooh, that's good. Let's see. I feel like Raphael would be a libertarian, just kind of a FU. I'm going to get mine. That's the easy one. Michelangelo wouldn't vote. Michelangelo would actually be apolitical. A lot of like right wingers say apolitical. No, Michelangelo would not care at all. He wouldn't be. He'd be like, oh, I think all politicians are fine, and not. He's a party dude. Leonardo's a Republican. That's an easy one. Leonardo's a cop. Donatello would be. God, I want to say Donatello's a leftist because he's so smart. Like, you think he'd be a leftist, but he's also a big like technology guy. Which, God, Donatello would be either like a resistance lib or communist. I don't get communist vibes from Donatello though. Although I think if you read, he doesn't seem to be like that kind of nerd. He seems to be the kind of mechanically inclined, fix it nerd. So I think he'd be like, well, this is the practical solution. So yeah, I think Donatello would be like Elizabeth Warren, basically. So yeah, Donatello, Resistance Lib, Leonardo, not a Trump Republican. Leonardo's like your dad's type of Republican. Like, well, we need rules, that kind of guy, not like a bigot or anything. I mean, he's Republican, so slight bigot. But Raphael, Libertarian. Michelangelo wouldn't vote. Splinter would be something weird, like like a free soil party guy, like a Whig party, like some ancient political party that no one's heard of in a long time. Splinter just brings it out because he likes that stuff. Oh, someone put Electric Boogaloo Civil War. I didn't know until, man, I think it was a year or two ago, why they called themselves the Boogaloo Boys. And it was because of the Electric Boogaloo. So there was a movie called Break. And then there was a movie called Break 2, The Electric Boogaloo. I'm sure you guys have heard of that. And so they call themselves the Boogaloo Boys because they call it Civil War 2, The Electric Boogaloo, which I hate to admit is pretty clever. I hate to admit that because the Boogaloo Boys are awful, but that's pretty clever and funny. Credit where credit's due. Election prediction. I think Biden wins the presidency. Democrats win the House. Senate's a toss-up. All the polls say the Senate's going to go to the Republicans, and it might. But I'm picking Democrats because it's more interesting. It's not interesting. Oh, well, the polls all say this, so I think I'll go with that. It's just more fun. No, I'm not taking requests to join the live because I'm actually trying to work here. I don't know why I did this, but Kennedy is the only one talking safe food and stopping buying of homes for rentals. Yeah, Kennedy's not going to win, so. The red wave. Trump is on track to win. Only hope is Kennedy. Well, Kennedy is certainly not on track to win. Look, I listen, I don't want to shit on you guys too much because I've made it a point. Like, listen, your vote's yours. I'm not going to shame anyone for their vote. I can just talk about the practical reality that I see, that I don't have some sort of, ideological position that voting third party is bad. It's not that at all. It's that I don't see a practical path to victory for a third party, not for the presidency. Yeah, for other elections, yeah, go for it. Try your best. And I'm all for building up. And we have third parties. It's funny people say we need a third party. We have dozens of third parties. It's just that the problem is that our current system doesn't reward third parties, and it's very difficult to get one into a position of power. And I don't think you can start that with the presidency. I more or less know that you need to start it from the ground up and build power that way, which takes more work. But so focusing on the presidency doesn't, do it, go for it. I've yet to be convinced. If someone can give me a convincing argument to vote third party, yeah, but I haven't seen it. Same. I was out of state in 2016 and missed the mail-in ballot deadline. I'll never miss another vote. Thoughts on the Electoral College? Does it need to be changed? It probably wouldn't. Oh, yeah, Electoral College is nonsense. It's ridiculous. It's funny whenever you talk about how bad the Electoral College is and how it's an anti-democratic institution, purposely so. The founders didn't want, they feared the people. It's just hilarious to me how often people refer. Conservatives love saying "we the people," which is very funny because they hate democracy. They say it all the time. They talk about how bad democracy is and that the founders didn't want democracy. It's like, okay, so who gets to make the rules then? Not the people. It's someone else. And with the Electoral College, that was just another stopgap they had to quell the passions of the people. That's why we have, well, it's not the only reason, but it's one of the reasons we have two houses, that the House represents the will of the people. The Senate represents the will of the powerful. That's what it's there for. It's like, okay, thanks, Rubes. We'll consider what you have to say. But, we gentlemen, we refined gentlemen make this decision. And until I think 1918 or something, the Senate wasn't even elected by the people. The Senate was elected by state legislators. So you voted for your state legislator. Your state legislator voted for the Senate. And now you have direct election of senators. But anyway, the Electoral College is a holdover from those days. And so when you bring that up, what conservatives love to say is, this is not a democracy. This is a constitutional republic. Yeah, we know. But get this. If we elected the president with a popular vote, it would still be a constitutional republic. Because the president's a representative. That's where the republic part comes in. Like, if we got rid of representatives and we decided everything on a popular vote, that would be a pure democracy. It would also be impractical as hell. This is why nobody's arguing for it. So whenever it always confuse me when they throw that out. Well, this isn't a democracy. Yeah, I'm not arguing for a pure democracy, but I am arguing for a democratic election of our representatives, including the president. I'm definitely not voting Trump, but I'm not voting Biden. No, hey. No third party is viable. Please vote. Same. I was overseas. Where were you guys? Why do you look stressed out? You know what? Someone else said that I looked. It might be the lighting, because I have a key light, like a giant key light up there that I use for my YouTube videos, and it works fine. And I have a little light here, but on YouTube, if you guys go on my YouTube channel, I'm live streaming there as well. But on YouTube, it looks fine. But here, it's kind of dark. So I think it's giving like dark circles or something. My skin looks weird. I don't know. I don't like how I look right now. Like downstairs, the lighting's a little bit better, but people have commented I look tired. I'm not. Or stressed out. Shanghai. Hey, what's going on? I was in China for a while. Back in 2003. I was in China for like the summer. Loved it there. It's fantastic. Love to go back sometime. I can't believe it's been 21 years since I was in China. But I had a gay old time. It was really fun. Nice people. Ninja Turtle pizzas. What about Shredder? Oh, what would Shredder's political party be? Trump supporter. No, Shredder's too smart to be a Trump supporter. I don't know what Shredder's party would be. Shredder is like a... I don't think about that with Shredder. Do you believe that we won't have another election if Trump wins? No. Oh, Kane to... I don't know what Kane to is. Intent as stare down for a moment whenever you read a comment. Yeah, I know. It's I need to like broadcast on a bigger screen. Polls have been wrong beforehand. To entertain me while I walk the dogs. Thanks for the entertainment. Gotcha. We need to push third party locally. Yes, I agree. Statistically, it's not possible. Yeah, it is impossible. Like Ross Perot was the most successful third party candidate in recent history. He won a crazy amount of the vote, like 20 or 20%, zero electoral college votes, zero. That's how difficult it is for a third party, that you can crush it as a third party candidate like Ross Perot, still get zero electoral college votes, the votes that matter. If the major parties keep waging lawfare on each other, third parties can win. Lawfare, this is ridiculous. Did you really lose your baby? No, it's just a song. Thank you for answering that one for me. I currently don't have a baby, so I have no baby to lose. We're a constitutional republic. Oh, yeah, you guys. I'm way behind in the comments. Sorry. Founders created a system to protect the elites. It's true, Raul. Another thing conservatives like to say is they like to talk about we need the electoral college to protect us against the tyranny of the majority. They love, which is just another word for the popular will of the people. So that we got to protect against the minority, against the tyranny of the majority. The tyranny of the majority was a phrase the founders used, but not in the way that they're thinking. James Madison said that in creating the Senate, he was creating an institution that would protect the minority of the opulent. Now, when you tell us conservatives, you can't say opulent because they don't know what that means. They're conservative. So you got to tell the minority of the rich, and the minority of the rich against the tyranny of the majority. James Madison realized that if we have a democratic system, that, people are going to vote power out of the hands of us, the rich people, and into their hands. And they didn't want that to happen. So they created stopgaps, and the Senate is one of them. That the only minority that has ever been protected consistently in the United States is the rich. They're the only minority that's been protected. Like every other minority, women, Black people, Native Americans, immigrants, religious minorities have been like scratching and clawing for their rights for hundreds of years against the Constitution, like not because of the Constitution, but in spite of the Constitution. Like they had to fight against everything that was set in place from the beginning to get something that resembles the same rights that that they should be granted as human beings, as American citizens. And the Constitution didn't care about them, cared about the rich, though. If you propose the Electoral College today as a new system, I don't know. Listen, the reverse is true too. Like if you propose something like public libraries today, Republicans would lose their shit. They go insane. Or if someone proposed public schools today, Republicans would shoot that down. Hell, if you try to get lead out of gasoline today, Republicans would lose their minds. It's I don't know. Like it's conservatism has always been bad, like I said, which is why I talk about the 2020 Project 2025 thing is not being a big deal because that's just what they've always said. But man, they're a dying animal, and so they're becoming more rabid now. They want democracy for them. Well, yeah. So another form of democracy. The Electoral College is the best argument for Texas and California secession. I have no idea what that's supposed to mean. I also like when they say that we can't have the Electoral College because if we do that, we'll have like 4 states like that pick the president. You know, New York, Texas, California, Florida. They're the only states that are going to matter, which is really funny because right now we have like 6 states that matter. If you don't live in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Arizona, North Carolina, you know, like if you don't live in any of those states, your vote doesn't matter at all. It doesn't. Like the swings to Georgia, I guess, like those states matter. But, you know, 40, 42 states doesn't matter at all. So, yeah, we already have that. Electoral College was to get slave states. Look, J-Dub said Electoral College was to get slave states to sign the Constitution. If you read about the formation of the Constitution, you will be shocked how much capitulation was given just so the slave states would stop complaining and sign the Constitution. Like so much was given to them. They like at every turn, which makes it funny when you read about all this, that we're taught that the United States Constitution is like this golden document gifted to us by God, filled with the wisdom. No, it is just a patchwork of deals and handshakes, backslaps, you know, to get a bunch of slave owners to join the modern era, and it's held together by bubble gum and chicken wire. It's like it's not a great document. There's a lot of great stuff in it, but overall, it's pretty bad if you ask me. And a lot of it is just to get the southern states to play ball. The 3/5 compromise is a good example of this. Interesting fact: the word slave or slavery doesn't appear in the Constitution. It's not there. And when they talk about the 3/5 compromise, the language they use is for individuals who are, it's like defined or categorized as not free. They shall be worth 3/5 of a vote for the purposes of representation. They were too cowardly to write the word slaves because for obvious reasons. Like, and this is like when people talk about the founders, well, it was a different time. Even at the time, they knew slavery was wrong, and they were embarrassed by it. A lot of people in France made fun of the founders. I can't remember who said it, but he said that when he heard about the American Constitution, he's like, "Oh, it's funny that he's like, how interesting it is that the people who yell the most about freedom are the, you know, drivers of Negroes," is what it said. It's like, yeah, they know it's nonsense what they're talking about, but with the 3/5 compromise, people say that the 3/5 compromise said that black people were 3/5 of a person. No, black people were 0/5 of a person, as far as the rights were concerned. But for representational purposes, black people counted as 3/5 of representation in a vote. So if you had a southern state that had, you know, 5 million people, 5 million free people, the North's like, well, you should get, you know, the representatives. He's like, no. We have 5 million free people, but we have 4 million slaves. So we should get them count too, which doesn't make any sense. And, you know, the South whined and complained about it. The North said, fine, we'll let you count 3/5. Yeah, a great deal for the South, like free representation. And they still complained. They still complained and whined for the next 80 years until Civil War kicked off. And there's actually a left. It is a vestige of this today, because if you have a state with a penitentiary, those people count for your representation, even though they can't vote. So you can't have one way or the other. As far as I'm concerned, they should be able to vote, but if they can't, I mean, they then they shouldn't count your representation. You should lose that. So I don't know. Do you think Gen Z will dominate elections by 2028? No, it seems a little early. Like, people don't vote. Young people don't vote in giant numbers. So it'll probably be a couple years after that before they start dominating. 2028 is about the time we should start. Maybe 2032. That millennials. Imagine getting called up for legislative duty like like jury duty. That'd be direct democracy. You're in Japan, libertarian. Shredder would just be a donor. A Bloomberg Democrat. Shredder's a Bloomberg Democrat. Just the worst of both worlds. I do love that. Gen Z will dominate election by 2028. Just anti-everything. Oh, Rosie, I don't know if you're still here, but I said Project 2025 is not a big deal because it's just standard, boilerplate Republican orthodoxy. It's the same thing that Republicans have been saying since I was a child. So it's just not shocking to me when I read it. People were talking about it's like this grand vision that they just cooked up. No, it's the same stuff they've always said. That's all I'm saying. 3/5 clause was to appease slaves. Yep. Other persons. Do you think how did they come to the? I don't know. I don't know. That it was just negotiation probably. Start with 1, then 0, then probably 50%, then probably 3/5. That's probably how. Even John Adams was against slavery. There's no excuse. Yeah, John Adams was an abolitionist, and so was John Quincy Adams. John Quincy Adams, after he was president, he served in Congress. He's the only president to serve in Congress after his term. And I don't know if you guys saw the movie Amistad, but that's based on a famous story where a Portuguese slave ship, the captives performed a mutiny, and the ship landed in the United States. And then a court case broke out to what should happen with these people, because by law, they were Portuguese property, and then they overthrew, the enslavers. And so people be like, well, okay, well, they're not slaves anymore. Now they're free because and then the Spanish tried to commandeer it, and the National Guard and the United States. It was a wild court case, but it was argued before the Supreme Court, and John Quincy Adams argued before the Supreme Court that the people on the ship should be freed, and they were allowed to go back home. But John Quincy Adams, like, there's a very short list of people who you could list as genuinely tried to be good as president, and John Quincy Adams is up there. He was a human. He had all his problems too and everything. He lived 200 years ago, but I mean, given what he had, I think old J. Quincy Adams did a good job. France is still pillaging Africa. Yep. This is like when people talk about how African nations are still poor and everything. And they say, well, European nations granted them independence, 60, 70, 80 years ago. So, okay, yeah, the nations no longer have direct control over it, but they left, but the corporations were under no obligation to leave. You were in Belgium and you set up a corporation in Congo, you can still have it there. You're in France and you set up a corporation in Algeria, you can still have it there. And like, France has like billions of dollars in gold. There isn't a single gold mine in France. Yeah, it's just and this is all throughout Africa, that there's so much money and the people are working. So you have Africa is one of the most natural resource rich areas on the globe, and people are working there. People are digging in the mines. People are cutting down the trees. People are digging up the minerals, and they're all broke. So it's not about work. It's about control. So yeah. The South still complain. They do. I always say the South The South has all throughout American history, the South has consistently gotten everything wrong, except for like barbecue and sweet tea. That's it. Everything else they've got wrong. They've gotten civil rights wrong. They've gotten women's rights wrong. They've gotten, you know, just basic morale. I don't know. It's just the South is always the last horse across the line. I don't know about North Carolina. Biden lost North Carolina last time, I think, and I don't remember what the polls are for North Carolina. I was surprised he got Georgia. I was shocked Biden got Georgia. So who knows? I think it's on 80stees.com where I got the shirt or something. I think it was something like that. Amistad. Yeah, yeah. Amistad's a good film. I watched it recently, and it is kind of white saviory, but yeah, still a good movie. Warren G. Harding, not so much. Oh, I don't know what that's in reference to, Jeff. The Warren G. Harding thing. Warren G. Harding. Warren G. Harding is known for being a corrupt president. Like you hear about the Teapot Dome scandal and stuff like that, and not much else. But when you read about these old scandals, like okay, I guess that's a scandal, but I don't know. I like Warren G. Harding also because his name sounds cool. First, like, oh, it's Warren G. Oh, not that Warren G. It's Warren G. Harding. I don't know. Oh, a comment on YouTube. Why do you think Biden will win if he's down the polls? Oh, so I think Biden will win, even though he's down in a lot of polls, because the polls have been very bad they haven't been very accurate on the side of the Republicans lately. Really, ever since 2022, that Republicans have underperformed by like 8 points on average in all the polls, and a lot of it has to do with Roe v. Wade and everything. So watching that trend and knowing that average people don't answer polls, those are all political folks, and of the two sides, the Trump people are a lot more excited than the Biden people, so they're more likely to be enthusiastic about answering polls and stuff like that. So knowing that, and that the average person is going to be supporting abortion and more likely to support Biden, and coupling that with the fact that Republicans lost in 2018, they lost in 2020, they had the worst performance of any out of power party in 100 years in 2022. They lost almost all the special elections in 2023. Oh shit! I don't know why that happened. In 2023, and man, there was a race in Ohio last month, no, like 2 weeks ago, and it was a county that Trump won by 30 points, and the last Republican that ran won by like 25 points. Republican won by 10 points, and that Trump is underperforming in all the primaries as well. Like Nikki Haley's getting 25% in the primaries, and she got 35%. Trump is weaker than people think. That's a long answer, but Martinez, are you going to protest the injustice done to Hunter? They're coming for the guns. Yeah. It's funny how much stock Republicans are putting into the Hunter Biden. For like 5 years now, they've been talking about Hunter Biden, which is just wild that they wasted this much time on Hunter Biden of all people. And it's like, okay, he's convicted now. No one cares. Doesn't matter. And they just keep sharing these stories of, Hunter Biden, having a massive hog and being, just, I don't know, like they keep making him look really cool. And I don't know. It's just funny. Grant tried. Grant just had no business being president. It's just funny people they shove into the presidency. There are a few natural ports on the continent of Africa. There are a few natural ports. The South be trying, though. They do. Do you remember what Biden did about private prisons? No, I don't. When are you going to run for political office? I've thought about running for political office since I was a child. Really, since I was a kid, I've always thought I'd want to, but in order to run, I need to beg for money. Something that I would hate to do. Which is like, ugh, it just sounds gross thinking about it. I've never asked people for money, and it's hard to do that. Even if people want to, it's hard to get enough money to run. It takes a ton of money to run for office, which means that I would need to turn to bigger pockets, which is what most politicians do. And once I do that, they own me. That's what happens to everybody. So if I ran for office, I'd be just like everybody else. Honestly, I would. There's no reason to think I wouldn't. I don't know. Maybe if I became independently wealthy, like I just ran across $1 billion one day, yeah, then I could do it. But till then, or until like I knew I could get a consistent amount of people who just love to give me money, and I don't know, then maybe, but I don't know. Kansas City, Ohio, Santos Seat, Alabama State. Once again, yeah, this is from a long time ago, but debater here. The Democrats have overperformed consistently over the last 4 years. Julie, if you're still here, what's so weird? I don't remember what I was talking about when I said that. Biden did a terrible job at rigging Hunter's trial. That was funny. Fun fact: if you push Hunter Biden in the back, he won't fall over because he's a kickstand. That's good. I don't know why the Republicans make such people. I know it's they try connecting to Joe Biden because they have this contradictory paradigm they set up here. Is one that Hunter Biden is, an addict and, an F up and is just a burden to the Biden name. And that's true. All of that's true. But they also are trying to convince people that Joe Biden trusted his drug addicted son to work out $1 million deals with heads of state and foreign countries. That's ridiculous. Like, he's the last person you would trust something like that. So of course it fell apart. It doesn't make sense. Martinez says, if a friend became a millionaire, would you accept that money like a shill? Yeah, I would, Martinez. I would. If I had a billionaire friend that could hand over the money and one that trusted me to do it, I'd do it. Actually, leftists have a long track record of being worse, far worse than. You know what? If you watch clips from Kirsten Sinema before she ran for Congress or she ran for Senate, like, her stuff sounds good. Like, it doesn't sound much different than stuff that any of us would say. And like, she just turned into a monster. So yeah, I'd hate to do that to you guys. I wouldn't. I honestly, I say that, but I gotta be real. I don't need to be in office. Like, I don't. I'm fine without it. So fuck it. I should run. Because if I lose, I lose. Well, whatever. I don't need to be. What's your line on them asking you to do stuff? Like my money line, Martinez? Like, what do you mean? The Martinez I'm talking to is commenting on YouTube, by the way, for you guys wondering what I'm talking about. He's a old army buddy of mine. Great dude. Great individual with a smile almost as good as mine. What do you think about the forced draft? Oh, I've been meaning to do a video about the forced draft. That automatically enrolling people for the draft is very funny because we've been arguing that people should be automatically enrolled into voting rolls. So if you can do this with the draft, you should be able to do it with the voting rolls. Moral ethics. Oh, my line. How far I would go. Oh, I don't know. If you're gonna do politics, you got to do some shady stuff. So I don't know. I would like to think that I'd be transparent about why I'm doing this vote, because nothing worse than when a politician does a vote that really upsets their base and they don't give you a good reason. I'd like to think I would do that. That would actually be my downfall. That I would try too much to be like Donald Trump. I would try too much to just like speak extemporaneously and just say what's on my mind. Trump can get away with that, but most politicians can't. That would be my downfall, just saying something offhand as a joke and then someone twisting it. And I'm in Indiana. Run. Okay. All right, folks, I'll run. Let's see. Allow them to be prosecuted without interference. What? Shoot. What about starting your own political party? I know my own political action. That's funny. Nah, just be yourself. Most of us agree with what you say. Well, I mean, most of you guys do, yeah, but you guys aren't my electorate. It's people who don't know anything about politics at all. Thoughts on the end of the U.S. Saudi petrodollar agreement? I haven't read much. I meant to do something about that months ago, and I haven't read too much about it. But if you guys wonder why the United States is so cozy with theocratic, a theocratic, totalitarian, despotic nation like Saudi Arabia, is because of the petrodollar. Essentially, if you want to buy oil from Saudi Arabia, you have to do it with US dollars, which makes our dollar incredibly powerful. So we let Saudi Arabia get away with pretty much anything. But I'll tell you more about the end of the deal. Like, why did Kerry Porter vote for the? Yeah, I know, stuff like that. Like, stuff like that. There's got to be a reason they don't give you a good one. And I would like to think that I wouldn't care. I just give the real reason. I don't like hiding things from people. Would you do a GoFundMe to get you out of Indiana? So I could get out of Indiana. I just need to find something to do. I need to. I kind of ended up here on accident. I don't really want to be here, but I just am. I appreciate all you watching on YouTube, by the way. Just so you guys know, I have a YouTube channel, Powers Taken Not Given, on YouTube. You can stop over there right now, check out 25 videos I have over there, and watch lives that I do on occasion. I simulcast the live stream that I do on the Left Wing Pod on Wednesdays and Thursdays with John Cooper of Counterpoint Politics. Feel free to check that out. I hate doing commercials for myself. I'm Vincent Charbonneau. I'm still struggling with 100% VA to do anything. Ooh. Good luck. DA, get that 100%. It's life-changing. I was not on Chappelle's show. No. Us boomers are stuck in the old ways. I know, Martinez. Me and Martinez, part of the old guard. Still look at the YouTubes. Is there a rapidly growing immigrant population in Indianapolis? I don't know. Indiana has a high population of what's the word? It's not Burmese. Myanmar. Immigrants from Myanmar. Which really shocked me. I wasn't expecting that at all when I got here, but I don't know how that's changed over the years. Damn, I'm sorry. You look like one of the comedians. I don't even know who that one could be. I get called like 5 or 6 different famous people, but I can't think of anyone Chappelle show I look like. With China pushing to get Saudi oil linked to the yuan and selling majority of EVs, what does Saudi gain? I don't know. I mean, there's more use for oil than just fuel for gasoline. So there's other uses for it too. What do you think about Terrence Howard trying to look? It's so funny. A lot of people, when Terrence Howard went on that weird speech, I got a lot of comments and people say, "Oh man, talk about Terrence Howard." And I was like, no, I actually haven't even watched the clip of it. I've seen a few people talk about it here and there, but I don't even. He said something like 2 + 2 isn't 4 or something, and math isn't real. I don't know. It's like he's just being weird. We use a lot of oil for petrochemical. Yeah, there's a ton of uses for oil outside of vehicles. Have you considered teaching if not running for office? So, Martinez, I don't know if I told you this, but I went to college to be a teacher. I went to college to be a history teacher. That's what I taught for a tiny bit. And then I joked that I joined the military instead because the pay was about the same. And I probably had a lower likelihood of getting shot in the military than being a teacher. So, but I do love teaching, which is why I kind of do the social media thing. I just like pontificating about stuff. Don't do it. Julie says don't teach. See. I have 100% with PT and just carry it far in Atlanta. Does Biden win or is democracy over? I don't think democracy is over if Biden loses, but I think Biden does win. What college would you teach at, especially in a right to work? Ooh, what college? I don't know. A college in someplace warm, that's for sure. I'm too old to deal with winters anymore, man. Like winters are been kicking my butt for years now. I just want to live somewhere warm where it doesn't get cold. I'm working at 100%. There you go. Get it. I have a few nieces and nephews that are teachers. Not me. I was reading a comment that said that, by the way, so you guys know. Warm like Maranatha. Yeah, the opposite of Maranatha. Mm. We can't repeat because we. Oh, I haven't even popping these up on here. I just realized I haven't popped the comments on the YouTube page. Sorry, guys. Your dad's a math teacher. Math is something I probably wouldn't teach. I'm okay at math. If you could move anywhere in the U.S., where would it be? Oh, it'd be San Diego, California. San Diego, California is gorgeous. It's just, God, I love San Diego. I went there for my sister's wedding, and I went there last year for Thanksgiving with my parents and my sister and my auntie. Gorgeous. I love that place. Very expensive, but it's worth it. And there's a reason it's expensive. People want to live there. Also, California is this cool thing that if your car breaks down on the interstate, like the state sends a tow truck to pick you up and move you. Like you don't have to call somebody and pay $150 to get your vehicle towed. It's just like it's part of the tax. It's pretty cool. Oh, you live in San Diego, citizen? Oh, it's great. San Diego. It's hella expensive. It is, but it's great. San Diego has a lot of military. It's true. There's a Marine base there, Camp Pendleton, I think, and a Navy base as well, I think. But yeah, it's great. I love San Diego. I'd love to live there. The tow truck on the highway arrives in like 4 minutes. Whew, yeah, it's God, I wish that was everywhere. That's such a good thing because like it's one of the worst parts of breaking down. Like you gotta get a tow truck. It's gonna cost an arm and a leg, and it takes 45 minutes to get there. But you having the state take care of it. Hogwarts House. I never read the Harry Potter books. I did see the movies. I did see them, but I'm not like a Harry Potter fan. People tell me I'm a Ravenclaw. That's all I can tell you. Marine Corps has 2 bases and a boot camp. All right. Yes, naval base. How often do you hear? I hear it all the time. Hear it all the time. We got the people rolling around after midnight under the ground where they don't make a sound. I've got to admit, that's who I thought he was at first. No, you didn't think I was Anthony X. You didn't think that was me. This fucking. Yeah, I was in the Army. I got out of the Army 2 years ago. I don't watch Doctor Who, so I can't give you an answer on that one. Sorry. I do like the Daleks, though. I like the Daleks. What do they say? Exterminate? Exterminate? That's funny. And the Weeping Angels, I think. Those are cool. That's cool. To the double take. Donatello is my favorite Ninja Turtle. He played a skit on Chappelle Show where he stole his wife. He found out. Well, I'm not a father, Trey, but thank you. That's very kind. Oh, wait. Martinez says, did you see the movie Civil War? Like, which Civil? Oh, no, the one just came out. No, I didn't see that. Turtle stuff. Oh, and thoughts on The Last Ronin. Oh, so we were talking earlier about what the political ideologies of all the turtles would be. For those of you who weren't there for this, it was like an hour ago probably, but mentioned that Leonardo's a Republican. You know, he's a cop. Not like a horrible person, you know, Republican or anything like that, but kind of like your dad's Republican, just a guy who's you know, a real stickler for rules and everything, and not an outside the box thinker, something like that. Donatello, as much as I want Donatello to be like a communist or a leftist, I think that he leans more in like the technocrat area. So he'd probably be like an Elizabeth Warren type liberal, like a solid blue resistance Democrat. Raphael would be a libertarian, just looking out for me and I'll get mine. Don't care about you. Michelangelo, you all know the answer. Michelangelo would not vote. Michelangelo's not voting at all. So that's where the turtles would be. Splinter would be something weird. Splinter would be, like a Whig party guy, or a Federalist or something odd that no one's ever heard of. So yeah, that's what we're gonna go with there. The Last Ronin. I've never read the Last Ronin comic. It's a cool concept, though. I do like a cool concept that that Michelangelo, the turtle the one you least suspect to be the last surviving turtle, is the last surviving one. That's a pretty cool concept. What do you think about the bump stocks? I know that's wild, right? Clarence Thomas said, like, well, this doesn't turn them into automatic rifles. That's exactly what it does. But hey, not a shocker. New Civil War movie seemed a bit vapid. Didn't see it. Thank you for your content. And that's a bombshell. Oh, appreciate it, Samson. Futurist. Donatello be center left. I think so too. Which he's my favorite turtle, but just looking at his personality, I don't see him as being that kind of thinker. He's like a more grounded, like not a visionary guy. So I see him as like a safe lib. I feel Donatello would be, a lot of people agree with the Donatello take. All right, I'm glad you guys think that, because I wasn't sure on this, because I wanted to say, Donatello would be like a Trotsky. It's like, no, he's not that kind of intellectual. Donatello would be, he's way too smart to be any type of conservative, but he'd be like, well, practically, I think so. Yeah, I think he'd be center left dude. Oh, anyone know why California's deficit is so huge? I looked at California's deficit. I mean, deficits aren't necessarily bad. I mean, they're not, but depends what you get in return from them. Hey, bro, that here as well. Oh, appreciate it. Saffron Don. That's a cool name. Hope you're doing well, too. Did you like the new Turtles movie? I enjoyed it, but didn't understand the lingo. I didn't see the new Turtles movie. I need to watch that. I meant to watch it. I just didn't get around to it. I like that it's the first one I can think of that focused on the teenage part of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because generally what we've seen is young adult Mutant Ninja Turtles is what we've really gotten. So give them like, high squeaking voices and weirdly proportioned bodies. It's like, oh yeah, the teenage part. That's a good call. Let's check it out. I did like Martinez mentioned on YouTube the lingo. I like that clip where they're talking about the bacon, egg, and cheese and the Bev and just riffing. That was great. It made it feel like they're actually teenagers. I love that. Team Donatello, Samson, love it. He doesn't have the moxie to go full communist. I think he would. I don't think he'd lack the courage to do so. I just think he. I don't see him as that type of visionary. I never read the Last Ronin, but I thought it'd be a rap for my. Oh, interesting. It was Mikey. Oh, thanks so much, Hinsdalian. Oh, he said you're also one of my favorite content creators, but I don't have a turtle steak. That's all right. Turtle steak is not necessary to join this live. Do you have any thoughts on the modern monetary theory? It tells us not to worry much about deficits. Oh, I am not nearly intelligent enough to remark on modern MMT. If you could go back to your enlistment age, would you still join? Probably, yeah. Not necessarily for the Army, but it just set me up really well. Until now, see, haven't seen you in a minute. How you been? I'm doing all right. Carouse, algorithm's weird. Sometimes it pops you along, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not either. I joined the MMT subreddit. Still confused. I can't tell you anything about it. I don't know. It's not my wheelhouse, my friend. We never sleep. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. I don't know why I left, but I left on my own. And it won't be long till I get on back home. Back home, back home. Back home where I belong. And it won't be long till I get on back home. Mama, mama, don't you cry. Your little boy ain't gonna die. And it won't be long till I get on back home. Let's see. Have faith in Jesus Christ and live forever. Get right on that. Did you watch any of the turtle shows from the early 2000s? I mean, I couldn't tell you which one it was. I remember watching some of them. I thought they were all right. Well, the Red Sky, the one with the red sky. They had a season with the sky was completely red. That one. I like that cartoon. It was pretty good. The live action movies with the ooze canisters was a keystone to. Oh, that's cool. So yeah, I liked that one. The live action movies from the early 90s, early mid 90s, I liked those a lot. The first one I liked a lot better, obviously. The first one was great. I mean, it was amazing how I remember going to see it in the theater with my mom and my brother. I loved that movie. I can tell you were an NCO, worked for a living. 1 and 2 are great. I never actually liked that. I never liked the don't call me sir, I work for a living. Yeah, officers work for a living, you know. Sounds like a mix of Jesus and Fergie. Martinez, what is that in reference to? What was that? Martinez is commenting on YouTube for people confused. I'm popping on that. I don't know. Jesus and Fergie. What was that? Oh no. Ugh, God, why don't I do this at all? Fergie, like her doing the Star Spangled Banner? I have no idea. Your voice when you sing Step Brothers. Thank you, Martinez. Oh man. Well, I wonder what she's doing now while I work all day to a different beat. It was an embarrassing singing attempt for Fergie, but that would be an insult if that's the moment. But she's a good performer. Yeah. And I wonder, will I have a home when I get back home? Will I have a home or a different beat? Let's see. Man, I love your channel. Oh, thanks, Dad. Like Anthony Anderson's cousin. Yeah, you're like the 40th person to bring up the Anthony Anderson thing. I know it happens all the time. Let's see. She tried to do a jazzy version of the album. Fergie, A for effort. She bit off more than she could chew, but you know, she tried her best. Tried her best. Oh. I do like that song. What is it called? Glamorous by Fergie, and she's talking like at the end is like, if you don't got your money, take your broke ass home. Like, you know, all you guys are broke. Like every one of you. Like you got everyone singing that song. You guys are all broke. Stop acting like you're not. Oh boy. Let's get this done here. Right away. Mm. Glamorous is a jam. That's a good song. I remember being in elementary singing it with my classmates. Yeah. I like Glamorous too. It's a catchy ass song. I loved it. The end just made me laugh because the song was played for the populace. It was played for regular people. You know, like 90% of them are broke. Where'd it go? Oh, here we go. Oh, Jesus. Oh, it's gonna suck so bad. Oh. I knew I was getting old when some kid told me he thought Jack Harlow made the original. I didn't know there was a remake of Glamorous. I didn't know that. Oh, come on. That's news to me. Wow, I didn't join your live to be attacked like that. Wait a minute, attacked like what, Martinez? What is what did I say against you, man? What did I say? Your post on 2024 to 1981. Oh, it's 1981 to 1938. Taking my broke ass home. Oh, Martinez. Yeah, yeah. Well, look, man, maybe you weren't broke back when Glamorous came out. I don't know, but most people, were. Yeah, the that post traumatized me as well. So the post that Alex is talking about is I posted that 1981 is as far from 2004 as 1981 is. No, wait. Yeah, from 1938 or something, and it traumatized a lot of folk. They weren't happy about it. Oh, Wolfie, you know what? Wolfie, amazingly enough, Wolfie is not up here. I've been at this for like an hour and a half, probably. How long? Yeah, an hour and a half. And Wolfie, I can't believe he's not in this room because whenever I'm on the computer, whenever I'm, in front of the camera or I'm doing a podcast or live, he's always up here. It's shocking that he's not up here. So he must be out cold. So, but he's doing all right. He's doing all right. This morning he was very cute. He was laying down, on his back with his arms curled up like on his stomach. It was adorable. Kid is he's too cute. So I travel a lot. I hate traveling mostly because my dad used to. Okay. Look. That sounds like a Norm Macdonald joke. That's something I don't know. Like, I mean, it sounds like a joke he would make. That's just oh, that was funny. It was funny. It was the unexpected nature of it. I didn't see that coming. I'm sorry your father mistreated you in that way. Chandron. That's you hate to see it, folks, but God, that made me laugh. You failed geography. I can see. You can see. Hey, at least it was a globe. At least it wasn't a flat, two-dimensional map. That way you thought the Earth was flat. Could have been worse. I taught you one thing. Not that I recommend it, obviously, but. Oh, this is good. This is good. I did a video a while back about some flat earthers I ran into getting a haircut. It was a harrowing experience, man. Like, people, like two people that genuinely believed the Earth was flat. It was wild. All right, we're going too far, Chandra. And now you're milking it, man. You were batting 1,000 earlier. Now you're just reaching. Come on, that's not even that's not even a joke. But oh yeah, it is wild though. How many people believe the Earth is flat? Like 10 years ago, I thought all these people were just trolling, and I'm sure a lot of them still are. But wow, you hear them talk, and they're dead set convinced. These people are looking at me like I was the crazy one, having to explain, eighth grade physical science to them and everything. What's going on here? Somehow, barbers also have PhDs in geology, physics, immunology, and psychic. I don't want to disparage barbers, and you know what? That oddly enough, that kind of describes my barber. My barber is from Benin, and he leaves the country like 2 or 3 times a year because he has businesses. The guy has 2 PhDs, I think, and he has businesses in Benin, in Nigeria, I think Cameroon, and France. And so he travels to Europe and West Africa 2 or 3 times a year to check in on his businesses, and then comes back. And he's the best barber in Indianapolis on top of it. So that who you're describing, that actually is my barber. But I know you're talking about your average, barber who, doesn't know shit about this stuff. My barber actually is a genius. He speaks like 5 languages or something. And so I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about a time he was gone. He was in Europe for like 2 months, and I went to a different barbershop where I ran across the flat earthers. So like, yikes. Real shame too, because their barbershop's like right down the road from me. It's real convenient to get to. I haven't been back since. That was a horrifying experience. Oh, come on. Whew. All right, I think that'll be it. All right, folks. I appreciate it as always. Guess I'll do a plug. If you guys aren't following my content on YouTube, feel free to check it out. Power is taken, not given on YouTube. The Left Wing Pod on YouTube, the kids from it. But I'll see you guys later. Love, peace, chicken grease. What?